What motivates you each morning to get out of your bed? If I was given a choice, I'd go back to sleep. But as soon as my eyes open, the very first thought that comes into my head is that I've got so much to do today. Today is the day. It's going to happen today. Everything is going to happen today. Suddenly that enthusiasm just floods me and I sit up straight. During the night, I have received a lot of prana. You do actually the ujjayi breath when you sleep at night. So your breath is long and deep. There's lots of oxygen going in. So as soon as you wake up in the morning, your prana is automatically high. If it were not so, you would not get up. You would not feel like getting up from bed. The mornings you don't feel like getting up is when you have had too much of alcohol or a very late night, not enough sleep. Those mornings when your alarm rings at 7, there will be no motivation to get out of bed. What is it about prana that motivates you? The very first chakra at the base of your spine, the Muladhara chakra, is responsible for two emotions: enthusiasm and motivation when it's rising, and inertia when it's falling. Enthusiasm, inertia. Right above it is the Swadhisthana chakra, about 6 inches above. When prana is rising, it's creativity. So that's the time you're doing your painting, you're writing your book, you're developing a new technique of doing your work, and that's when the energy is in your Swadhisthana. When it's descending, it's sexual energy. So it is hardly surprising that right after a sexual act, you're completely with inertia, lost, finished, gone. So you have two choices. The prana is one. You can either allow your prana to descend, or you can allow your prana to rise. When you have that motivation, it will result in creativity. When that prana ascends, it will result in creativity. This is how it has to be taught to children. You can't tell them don't drink and don't be promiscuous and don't do this and don't do that, because whatever's not allowed, that's what they'll want to do. That's what they want to try. But if you explain it to them in a different way, they might be able to see it in a different light, in a completely different light. Motivation comes from different sources, but the best motivation is the one that comes from within. You can tell your child 100 times, 10% more effort will get you from the B to the A. Just 10% more. But till that child is in a group of equally smart kids who are outsmarting them, that child will not feel the need to excel. I'm okay with the B. I'm okay with being mediocre. I'm okay with doing things halfway. And that's true for adults too. It is not until we're put into an atmosphere of competition that we feel the need to excel. The sad thing is that talents you have, you are probably using only 10% of it. The rest of the time is spent in laziness, in just relaxing and doing nothing. Well, not laziness, you're sleeping, and you sleep for 6-7 hours a day, whatever, 8-9, some of us. But whatever it is that you sleep, and you spend a lot of time just relaxing in front of the TV. There is a lot of time that we waste. There is a lot of talent that we waste. There is a lot of brain power that we waste. They say that we use only 10% of what we are capable of doing. We don't use it because it's too much of a hassle. We don't want to get into that, which involves too much work. We just want to go through the day and go to sleep. That's not what Elon Musk thinks when he wakes up in the morning. That's not what Bill Gates thinks when he wakes up in the morning. He just want to go through the day and go to sleep. These guys are motivated. Different things can be your motivating factor. You may want to change the world. You may have a revolutionary idea. And it's just stuck in your head and you want to see it through. Or it can be money that you're after. People like Rockefeller and Vanderbilt, during the late 1900s. When was the
Early 1900s.
Early 1900s, yeah. Those guys only thought about the end result. They had a dream. And that even though they had no money in the beginning, they just knew they were getting there. They had a vision of the end result. And that kept them going. Others are motivated by people around them. If you surround yourself with people who want to bring out the best in you, nothing can be better than that. Very often, we have people around us that are only wanting to put us down. That are only no, I'm not talking about you, but in a work environment. It's so competitive that the environment is not nurturing. Nobody is patting you on the back and saying, wow, great job done. In fact, I was really surprised when Lavanya, last week she told me, she says, I'm really bored, I have no work to do. So I said, why don't you ask for something to do? And he gave her a very complicated chart to make on Excel. And she did a really good job. But what did he do? He sent it to his boss saying, Lavanya has come up with this really wonderful flow chart. I think we can use it. And he sent it. I thought that was very, very, it shows a lot of grace in the guy. He's not threatened by Lavanya. He appreciates her work. And that motivates her to do more. My boss really appreciates what I do. He really likes what I do. I should do more to make him happy. But what do most bosses do? They take the credit as if they did it because they are threatened. They themselves are not secure in their position. If you are secure in your job, if you're secure and happy in what you're doing, you will be the source of motivation for many people around you. Because you don't have anything, nothing to gain, nothing to lose. You're really okay where you are. The minute you feel threatened is when people around you will feel that lack of motivation. Motivation comes from praise. Now if I asked you to praise yourself with 10 different praises, could you even think of, just 2 minutes, think about it. Think of 10 ways you can praise yourself. Literally count it. I want you to count it. Think of things that you really do well, and I want you to think of it.
It's really difficult to come up with 10.
If you cannot praise yourself, where is that motivation coming from? If you don't have the value for what you're doing, how are you expecting yourself to excel? It all begins here. Motivation really is your own prana coming up. You have to begin by loving yourself and honoring yourself and admiring your qualities. only then they come to the surface. If you wait for everybody else to praise you, you might be waiting for a very long time. It begins by starting here. Praise yourself. That is one. How stingy or how free are we with praising others? You might admire the gold necklace she's wearing, but you'll never go up to her and say, "What a beautiful necklace. You're looking marvelous today. How lovely your face is today. You look like a goddess. Or you look perfect in these pants. And I love your smile." We don't say these things freely enough. We're very stingy with our praise. Praise is very essential. Kids must not, especially for children, if you're all the time correcting them, what are they thinking? That I'm only doing things that are wrong. How do you get rid of bad streaks in your behavior, or bad habits, or by nurturing the good things? You can't get rid of bad behavior or behavior that you don't like or things that you don't like by focusing on that behavior itself. So if your child doesn't feel worth it, he's never going to do what he's born on this earth to do. He'll never be motivated enough. Some people get really, really inspired by leaders, by speakers, by the Gandhis and the Mother Teresas, the people that have done a lot of things. Sometimes they get motivated by ideology that may not even be a positive ideology, but it motivates them enough to action. So motivation doesn't mean that you only do good things. You can be motivated enough to do wrong things. At one time, they were called terrorists. Now we worship them as freedom fighters. Who are they? All those young men and women that died for our independence, who are they? They were motivated by the great rhetoric of all the great speakers, the Gandhis and the Nehrus and the Sardar Patels and Jinnah. Hundreds and thousands of people rose up for independence. They were shot down, killed, hanged, put into prison as terrorists. So who is a terrorist and who is a freedom fighter? Look at ISIS. Look at any organization that has got an ideology that people are motivated towards. If that organization is popular, then it's a good ideology. Otherwise, all the people that subscribe to it are terrorists. But they don't feel that way. They feel for a cause. They get motivated by different things. I never feel that all the people that belong to ISIS or Al-Qaeda are essentially bad. They may not have the ideology we have, but they're not essentially bad. Their motivation has just taken them in a different direction. You can be a Ram or you can be a Ravana. And the world will see you differently. Neither is Ram all good, neither is Ravana all bad. Their motivations are different. You look at it from their perspective and it's totally different. So it's important, I think, to surround ourselves with people that we can look up to, with people that inspire us to do greater and better things. We've got enough of those that pull us down. Enough of those. And it's got to be done early. Middle school and high school, especially for children, You got to surround yourself with a group of children who are like-minded. Someone who's not putting you down. You must not want to have lunch in the bathroom because you're worried about what the other girls will say with what you're wearing. You know. You can't feel motivated about the day if you're not accepted by a group. If you don't feel part of it. But there are billions of people in this world. We feel a sense of isolation as if, this is the only group. No. There is this group, there is this group, there is this group. You can go anywhere. And soon enough, you will attract the people that are like you. It always happens. Does the whole Miramar community come to this meeting? No. Just a few. A few come again and again and again. Those are the ones that you attract. The others are not attracted to it. They're attracted to something else. They're motivated to do something else. Today we had a very interesting discussion. My daughter wanted to try being vegan because she feels that there is a lot of the farming is all wrong in this country. They're very cruel to cows. She keeps sending me these videos. And that's fine, let her, I don't mind that. But both my mother and my sister asked her, how are you going to get married if you are vegan? You can't tell a boy that you have to be vegan. No, you can't. He can eat blood and flesh and you can't be vegan. This is it. How do you feel motivated to do something noble when everybody is telling you, when you're being judged for that very reason? It's very hard to have that motivation to do things. Even if I look at myself, in my family, other than my mother, nobody watches my videos. Nobody reads my books. Should I feel that is it? If I go by just, my sisters, his sisters, my cousins, his cousins, my nieces, nephews, is that my entire world? I wouldn't be here 10 months later. I had to motivate myself. My mother in the beginning would say, Sanyasi matto ahade. Don't leave your husband and go away. Sanyasi matto ahade. So I had to assure her that I'm not doing anything strange. It might seem strange to some who like to live a life of indulgence, who live in the material world. I live in the material world too. I live in the material world too, very much in it. But this is something that I feel naturally enthusiastic about. I think about first thing in the morning. How many new people are going to come today? I have a goal of 500 that I'm going to teach meditation. How close am I to that goal? How many more are going to learn? Who else am I going to teach? What am I going to do today? Which email is going to come? Internet would be good. Then I'd get those emails. But I feel a sense of self-motivation because I cannot rely on any particular group to motivate me. The very fact that you come and the other group comes, that is good enough for me. That is my spiritual group. So don't look always to your immediate family. You might want to do something totally different from what everyone has been used to doing. And it's all right to do it. You might pick a career that's not at all accepted in this family. You might pick a life partner that's out of this or accepted. It's all right. If you know that this is the right thing and you have the motivation to carry it through and see it through, and the commitment to it. It starts out with motivation. It stays on track with commitment. You have motivation to do several things. I want to do this, I want to do creative writing, I want to start this, I want to do that, corporate meditation. Only a few things will materialize and you'll stay with those. Right? I have many things that I want to achieve in my life. I want to write 50 books. I only have a limited amount of time on this earth now, which I can spend. But I feel that my best time is spent helping others reach their potential or reach within. And that's what I want to do. And it doesn't matter to me if I'm weird or I'm not. What was weird 50 years ago just becomes normal after a few years. And other things become normal. Nobody married out of their caste earlier. Now if they marry within the same sex, it's a great thing. So, or not.
It's not a great thing, but it's happening. I won't say it's a great thing though. It's happening. Unfortunately or fortunately.
It is what it is. Everything changes. And you may not like one thing, you may like one thing. Somebody might say you're weird. You have to follow your own heart. You have to reach within to get the motivation to follow your passion in life. Find that passion. Motivate yourself for that and stay with it with commitment. So I guess I know what the topic next week is going to be. We'll talk about commitment next week. But for now, let's hope you can motivate yourself. Or maybe I can motivate you. Or you can motivate each other. This is a good group. And you should help each other grow.